In today's episode of Raw and Real with Shikha, we will explore the power of NLP with Dr. Kanwal Rizvi. As an expert in her field, she helps people reframe their thinking, transform communication, and unlock confidence. Let's discover how these tools can create real change in everyday life. Or can they? Hi, Dr. Kanwal. Welcome on Raw and Real with Shikha.
Hi Shika, how are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Good.
Dr. Kanwal, when you say NLP, please explain what is NLP. मुझे तो full form पता है what is NLP, but can you please explain the full form of NLP for my audience?
Okay, so NLP is basically the full form of NLP is neuro linguistic programming. And as this, because if it start with the neuro basically means the brain, and we also say mind. Because what happened, and linguistic means language, and programming means our belief system, our childhood experience, everything that we are programming, conditioning.
Right.
So let me explain you a little bit about this. Like anything that we experience outside of our reality, all this experience, as a data, it goes inside our brain.
Right.
And we process through our senses. Like we have 5 senses, we through our eyes, through ear, nose, and all this information from outside. When it goes to inside to the brain, so that's part, brain start processing that information.
Right.
So that when we study that part, it's called neuro part of NLP. Okay, so based on the processing, like when let's say you are looking at me, or the colors or anything that you see, based on you see, you hear, you smell, this information, when it's processed, then we give it a meaning to it. Okay, I saw black color, or this is right color, this is ball, this is whatever it is. So the meaning is actually linguistic part of NLP.
Okay.
Then in linguistic part, we learn how we give meaning. First of all, how we process the information out in our brain, which is neuro part of NLP, and then how we give meaning to each, what meaning we are giving to each information that we are getting.
Right.
So that's linguistic part of NLP. And then it's coming the programming. Programming means the meaning that we give, the linguistic part is coming from our own programming, like how we grown up. If we have learned that this is black color, that's why we give linguistics that this is black color. So we actually explore the programming as well, that how from the childhood you have developed, what belief system you are holding, how you process this information. Basically, there are 3 processes when we take information in. So this is called, we delete some information, we change some information, and we journalize some information. So all this information, all this process is happening in the brain. And to study that process, and to change, so that study is called neuro-linguistic programming.
Okay.
Metaphorically speaking, like say if you buy a blender, okay, so and it's a like very good blender in a way. There are so many functions, but you only learn to blend it. So you just put stuff and you just blend.
Okay.
But there are so many functions.
Other functions.
Yeah,
also.
that you need to learn. And for you to learn that other functions, you need to open the manual.
Right.
Right, to see, okay, oh, this can do this also. This. But if you don't open the manual, you just do the normal function. So normal, we call NLP is the manual of mind.
Okay.
So if you really want to utilize the mind in the proper function, which is it is made up for, so we need to go to the manual.
So
that's, we generally perform the normal functions of the brain and the mind. But if you open the manual, we can see, oh, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this. So in a nutshell, this is what NLP that we are exploring. What is the manual of the mind?
Manual of the mind. So when you say that NLP is manual of mind, how do you consider cases like when people say that we are in autopilot mode most of the time? Like 90% of us, we repeat things, repeat emotions, toxicity and all stuff. So how do you tackle these conditions?
Yeah. So as I said, manual of the mind. So we have basically, actually we have more than 3 types of mind, but let's consider 3 to 2 types of mind. So there is conscious mind we have, and we have subconscious mind.
Right.
In NLP, we take subconscious and unconscious together to work with. So it's kind of a similar way we take it. So let's take it conscious and subconscious mind. Normally, when people are trying to tackle their emotional stress and their situations are repeating and they are managing, they are trying to manage with their conscious mind. Okay, but as I said, 95% is like repeating and the same stuff. So 95% our whole life is controlled by our subconscious mind. And when things start getting repeated, because you are trying to control it with the conscious mind. So the real change happened at the subconscious mind, which has 95% control of our life. So in NLP, when I'm saying manual of the mind, it's manual of your subconscious mind, which is 95% controlling your mind. So what we do, we actually get into subconscious programming and see why you are repeating these patterns. Let's say somebody have trauma and they keep getting themselves into that trauma. It's somewhere in the childhood they get into that trauma, and now they have a perception of that trauma. So anything that trigger, even let's say small thing, that trigger that perception of the trauma, they will relive the trauma. But that trauma trigger is in the subconscious mind.
Right. But then is it always the childhood trauma which triggers, or sometimes, something sudden happened during their life and that can create a trauma?
So most of the time it's childhood. And it's not necessarily a trauma happened at the childhood. Let me give you an example to understand. Let's say a person who is having a phobia of bridges. Okay, so they come to us and they say, okay, I have phobia of bridges, and it just started 2 months ago. I was crossing the bridge and I saw an accident on a bridge, and from that day I cannot cross the bridge.
Right.
So it's very obvious and consciously you can see that, oh yeah, it's like 2 months ago it started. So when we explore the trauma, it actually, it come with a very phobic way from 2 months, but the trigger was in the childhood, and he was 10 years old and he fall from the roof.
Oh, okay.
So the trigger of height, let's say, was there, but have you ever been in a place where there is snowing and the first layer of snow is a little bit weak, then another layer, then another layer. So as the layers are then getting stronger, so the same way triggers work inside of us. So we have triggers already, but as situations are happening, it keep getting stronger and stronger, and then it hit with us with something. Let's say you think, oh, 2 months ago it happened, and from that only we are having it.
Right.
But it's not 2 months; it's a trigger from childhood.
So how these triggers happen? Like when someone will understand that yes, this is something is triggering me, because as a child, as a toddler, we'll never know about these triggers.
Yeah.
At what age these triggers can be figured out?
So basically, till 10 years of age, almost everything is set up. Our programming is set up. And of course, 10 years of age, till 7 years, basically, there is no conscious mind development fully. It just started, but it's not fully ready. So after 7 years of age, people start understanding, oh, this is happening because of that. So before 7 years, everything is like, we are like a sponge. So it absorbs everything rather than understanding things. And that, the data form is stored inside of us. So as we move through the life, that data is now linguistic, it starts giving meanings. The programming is already there. Understand this programming is just a raw programming. Okay, it has no meaning yet. But as we are growing through our life and we connect those programming there, so we started giving meaning to, oh, this was fear, oh, this was trauma. Oh, So as we move through our life, then we start giving meaning. And that's why childhood, we don't know that, but later on it come to that. Even let's say relationship trauma. Let's say a child is growing up like 2 years old, 3, and they are saying, let's say the parents, they have relationship issue. They will not understand really what's going on between the parents, but the data is already safe. Right now, they don't have the linguistics and they don't have the understanding and the meaning of it.
They will know that there is something which is wrong.
Exactly. They will know there is something is there, but they will not even translate it into language.
Right.
But as they grow older, they start learning the language, the meaning of the words. The data is already safe. Then inside of themselves, their brain start decoding that meaning. Oh, that means this, that means. So now with the full meaning, they repeat the same pattern, especially when they get married. The same pattern will start repeating because they did not know it before after marriage. But most of the time, you see marriage traumas are also coming from the childhood because people tend to repeat the same pattern that their parents have or they have seen in some places like that.
Okay. When you say like same patterns are repeating, I have seen same patterns repeating in my life as well. So why? Is it like a trauma has to be there, or is it our work-life balance, or is it like the daily life?
Yeah, so basically, if you are repeating the same pattern, it's coming from childhood. So there are two ways of it. Let's say you have seen something in your childhood that as you grow older, you decided that this will not going to happen in my life. So you will actually run the opposite pattern.
Right.
And sometimes it happens, there's a story I always tell in my trainings. The story is like, there were two brothers.
Hmm.
Both were, twin brothers. One was really succeeded in life. One was broke.
Hmm.
So they reached for an interview to a broke brother, and they asked him, "Why are you so broke? Why are you?" He was alcoholic, an abuser, and a broke. And he said, "You know what? My father, he was alcoholic.
Okay.
He was abuser.
Hmm.
He was broke. What you can expect from me?"
Oh, okay.
So they went to the successful brother, the twin brother, and said, "How you are so successful?" He said, "My father, he was broke.
Hmm.
He was alcoholic.
Yeah.
He was abuser. What you can expect from me?"
Hmm.
So that's what says, in the childhood, as we are growing older, some people decide that I will not follow the same pattern, and they completely get opposite. And we have cases like that.
Right.
But some people, they said, okay, what can I do? It's
What
how
can
I am
I do?
programmed.
This is how I
people are saying,
program.
just you have to try to live with it because this is how I am programmed.
Okay.
That's why the knowledge is very important. That if you know that you are programmed this way, since you were programmed at that time, it was not on your hand. But now the awareness that you are programmed this way,
Right.
NLP changed that programming. So that's why it's called neuro-linguistic programming, to change the programming which is not serving you.
All right. So is it not related to any kind of guilt which they are going through, like from the childhood, if there is a guilt which has been built in, like you cannot do this because of this, or you cannot,
it is guilt also.
You'll not be able to do anything in life.
These are beliefs, we call it. So they are growing up with beliefs. I'm not good enough. I cannot do this. Yeah, so this is also a programming.
Okay.
So when I'm saying programming include the emotions, the belief system, experiences of life, not good enough, comparisons between the siblings or between other people. This is all part of the programming, and that shapes personality or reality of a person.
Yeah.
So as they grow older, they just experience the reality which they already have programmed with. So that's what we say, like in NLP, say you experience, we call it perception is projection in our world.
Perception is projection.
That whatever you're projecting in your reality, it's coming from your own perceptions. And that perception is developed from programming.
So your own thoughts.
Your own belief system, your own value system, like the experiences that you have been, the memories that you have. Even our language is also a filter that create our perceptions. So let's say if I'm communicating with you in other language, let's say Urdu or Hindi, the communication will go in a different feeling side than if I'm communicating in other language. So even that is also, linguistics also a filter.
Right. So in this NLP, you help people in terms of chronic diseases as well?
We don't take chronic diseases, but during the process of their self-healing, the beliefs, and they actually heal themselves with the diseases also.
Okay.
So we don't say, oh, we heal your chronic pain, we heal your disease condition. But actually, now medicine also, they all say that every problem, every disease is caused by stress. 99% of diseases are caused by stress. So what we are dealing with the stressful situations.
Okay.
When stressful situations are dealt with, they actually heal themselves from the conditions as well.
All right. So like in cases like where you have a high migraine or like some disease, that can also help through NLP?
Yeah, actually, I have experienced so many people in the training. So what I notice as per my experience, the people who are actually having migraine, they have a subconscious pattern of, when they want to escape from some reality.
All right.
Like say, oh, too much work now. Subconsciously, they don't realize consciously. Nobody wants to feel pain.
But they're escaping from the reality.
There is an escaping mechanism inside. So just to escape from what is going on, the pain came up, so that people just cannot do anything. They just lay down and cannot process information. So when we work on the stress-related stuff, the overwhelming stuff, they actually tend to heal their migraine. Because if it is a escaping mechanism, then the migraine happens, the subconscious mind give pain, so that they can actually, cut off everything and just lay down and, forget about everything and just focus on the pain.
Okay.
So when there is migraine, people tend to focus only on the pain. So no other thought process running.
Right.
So that's a escaping mechanism of subconscious mind to give you migraine, so that you will only focus on pain and you'll leave everything else. So when we actually work on stress situations and overwhelming situation, they tend to heal their own migraine.
All right, nice. So like when you say they tend to heal, is it going towards the spirituality level? Like where, a lot of healers are there? Is it only for the Instagram hype, or how NLP treats in that.
So basically, for me, spirituality is a process. Okay, and there are 4 steps to reach to the higher level of spirituality. But you have to start with one. I mean, if just let me ask you this question, if because I can explain you on my perspective. What do you think when you say spirituality? What do you think in normal people, what they see as a spirituality or spiritual person is? What is the meaning of spirituality?
I think finding yourself or connection with divine.
Great. So yeah, it has been called, like you have heard about knowing yourself is knowing God, right? Or knowing divine. So basically, as we start with ourselves, but still people don't know what is the meaning of knowing ourselves.
Okay.
Please
explain.
If you think about knowing if as much as you know yourself, you know Lord, you know God.
Right.
But what is the meaning of knowing yourself? The meaning of knowing, so it's a step-by-step process.
Right.
It will take some time, but I hope I can explain you well what I understand.
As you said, knowing yourself, I think everyone isn't it, they are confident enough ki like, yeah, I know myself, ki main to aise hi hu, ye to waise hi hai. Like they have their perceptions, but I would like to know from you.
So basically, in our trainings also, that's my main purpose. So I start NLP after 6-7 days of training.
Okay.
So the first 5-6 days I call it self-breakthrough.
Self-breakthrough.
Yeah, so you have to know yourself in order to break through to get to the techniques and tool part of NLP. So in knowing ourselves means it's not like, okay, I know myself, this is my values, this is my boundaries, I know myself. That's not knowing yourself. Knowing yourself basically means whatever is happening around you, some situations happen, some people in your life, some circumstances in your life, it's happening in your life.
Yeah.
You connect back to you that what is in me that causes this situation in front of me.
What is in me?
Yes.
Okay.
Now this is a concept that we call it perception. Let's say if you are watching a movie, okay, you are sitting in a cinema, you are watching a movie, and you don't like the movie. Will you go and scratch the screen that I don't like this movie? I will just scratch the screen, so I will not. You will actually go to the source from where this movie is being projected, and you change the movie there from like a projector or something.
Right.
So in our life, we understand when you say knowing ourselves, we have to know the reality of life. And the reality of life is whatever is happening in the screen around us, it's actually coming from, I am projecting it.
Okay.
So it's my screen overall.
All right.
So when I say knowing myself, if I have a situation and circumstance, anything, any person, even any situation that is bothering me, that is good or bad, whatever, I have to go inside and find out what is in me that bring that situation outside. Okay. And this is called, so I told you 4 steps. This is first step, it's called decoding.
Okay.
Decoding the reality. Decoding the reality, whatever happening in the reality, decode it. And decoding happen inside. So you start knowing also, oh, I did this wrong with someone back, and that's why this wrong is happening with me. That's called decoding.
Decoding.
So when you start decoding, the next step is cleansing. Purification. Okay. I call it purification. I call it cleansing as well. So once you know why this is happening in me, then you have to clean yourself with whatever grudge you are holding, anger, sadness, any emotion, any grudge, any pain, any hurt, even the situation that people are hurting you, it's because you are already hurt from inside. So that cleansing
is required. That's the vibe because you are sharing.
Yeah. So that's cleansing is required in the second step. So when you clean yourself from whatever situation and you decode first that, oh, from where it is coming from, definitely I am projecting it because I am a projector only. So when you realize which movie is playing here and you change that, you clean that part of the movie, then the third step is you start aligning yourself with.
Okay.
Okay. And then you become wise enough not to do it again. Okay. So then we get the wisdom. The fourth step is wisdom. And this is the wisdom that actually lead people to spirituality.
Right.
So now these 4 steps you pass through, you find something, you clean it up, you align yourself in a better way, and then you get a wisdom that what it's trying to tell you. And you keep doing this process. So in that process, what happened? The outside reality, because you decode everything, and then you start decoding the nature.
Okay.
Okay, these are the stars, these are the universe. What is this telling me? Then only when you decode your own sign in the reality, then you go to the natural signs, like stars telling you, giving me some sign. This is you start seeing in the realities, the movie, instead of your own movie, you start seeing in everything the divine.
Divine. So does this powers like stars, divine, universe really gives you signals?
There are all signs. So even in our life, your husband is your sign, your kids are your sign means a clue. Clue to decode something. If you
Okay.
don't like something, it's a clue for you. So, like if we are playing a game and I give you a clue, so you guess the song. With
Right.
with one clue, you guess the whole song.
Yeah.
So in the same way, everything around us, situations are the clue. And this is what this is where it takes you to the spirituality. When
Okay.
you learn how to decode those clues. So you take a clue, you decode it, and then you decode it. Now you know where to change, where to
Right.
make the change. You make the change, and then you clean yourself, and then you become wise. Now you are looking from the wisdom, the one level wisdom, let's
Yes.
say. Now you start seeing situation with another wisdom.
Yes.
Then again you decode it, and then this decoding will continue until you see in your screen the divine signs.
So keep decoding what's happening in and around. Because what I feel sometimes I have heard and people have told to many that, don't just think about your mistakes, like leave it and don't be in that guilt. Move on, move on. So is it easy to move on?
So basically, it's different. Guilt is different than taking responsibility. A lot of people you have to take responsibility, and this is our coaching world. We said if you are coming to me for a coaching, until you take responsibility, and let's say something happened and this person did this to me, or my husband did this, my wife did, because you are here to get coaching and to decode all these things, until you take responsibility that there is something inside of me that needs to heal. So that's it's not guilt, it's responsive. So there's difference between guilt.
Okay.
Guilt is blaming.
That you're
Either
blaming
yourself, it's
or
a blame.
others.
Normally when people get into blame, they cannot do anything because I am like this only. It's my fault. But if it is your fault and you are not doing anything, then it's a blame. It's a guilt. But if you take responsibility, okay, whatever it is, let me take the responsibility and make it change, then this is different thing.
Like accept it that this is what is a mistake and take a responsible step.
Sometimes even you don't know what mistake you have done. The responsibility, we call it empowered people. The real empowerment comes, I don't know even how it was me, but because it's my life, so it's my responsibility to make it work.
Okay.
So you have to take responsibility, and then when you take responsibility, then when you are in that energy of responsibility, you start decoding it well.
Okay.
And there are certain methods to identify, the signs around you. And that's what also we teach in NLP. We have some techniques called chunking up, chunking down, lateral chunking. So I normally take those techniques, and I teach people how to see the signs around you and decode it, so you know where from you it's coming. Okay. And then you clean those parts, and then you start the situation will change. And it happens so profoundly. Either you start seeing the same situation differently because your perception changed, or the situation itself changed because now the movie changed inside.
Oh, okay.
So yeah.
Means like how long this process takes place? Like, is it years or is just few months, few days?
So basically, as learning is the main thing is knowledge, awareness. So you are decoding means you are becoming aware. You are getting knowledge of what is in front of you.
Right.
So knowledge is a lifelong process. It's never ending. Okay. It's like a layers. So you get an onion and you remove one layer from the onion, the second layer, the third layer. So our reality is also like an onion. So you remove one layer. Okay, you become aware, you become wise on first layer. You decode it. Then the another layer is waiting for you. Okay. And then you just experience that layer, you decode it. It's the process is, we teach the process in 16 days, okay, of the whole training, but it will be applicable in throughout the life.
So you have to keep practicing it.
I would say more than practice, awareness, knowledge. Okay. If you really get it, I can get it. If you really understand it, then you don't need to practice. It will happen. You cannot not do it another way because it's happening, and sometimes like if situations happen, we all are human beings, ups and downs happening in all our life. So in my life, sometimes things happen, and I said, okay, I know. Even sometimes, you want to blame, okay, this is because of that person, sometimes I do, okay, and I know deep inside I'm blaming, and it will not help me anymore. Right. But it feels good for some time, yeah? So the best part is when you are having awareness, even though if you put things outside, deep inside you already know. Correct. You have to come back here and change here. Yeah, if it feels good, just do it for 5-10 minutes and then come back. So this is actually throughout process, but the learning, the awareness is the key. So if you start with the awareness and you understand it well, then this is a process of decoding throughout your life. But again, decoding is happening throughout your life, but every time you decode things, you become wise. So you are not the same person anymore.
Yeah.
And this is how we grow in life. You know, you go through problems, you come out of the problem, then you are in another level.
Yes.
And this level will continue for some
But
time.
then again, another problem will
Yes,
come, na?
even
Then again
bigger.
you will go. Bigger
Even
problem.
bigger.
Correct.
This is called, we call it, this is how life works. So I teach one graph in our class. We call it change state indicator. So there is there is a natural law, physics law, a law of entropy. The law of entropy states, although we study in school in physics, but nobody teaches us in the way how it can be applied in our life. The law of entropy is called law of thermodynamics as well, but I always relate those physics laws also in our life.
Right.
It says that if something stays constant, okay, the disruption has to happen. And it's a law, it's by law. Nothing can stay the same. I mean, we are not the same as we were when we were born. We keep changing, right?
We keep changing.
So in our life situations also, if something stays the same, it's a sign for us also. Remember I told you about the signs. It's a sign to start initiating the change. Otherwise, the natural change will happen. And normally when the natural changes happen, you are not ready for it.
Right.
And that's why it feels like you are going down. But if you are looking for, okay, I feel like the things are getting stagnant. I need to initiate a change so that the change will not occur by itself to put me into some situation where it will take time for me to grow, or I don't know how to make it. So that's how life works. So every time you go down, you come up, you are a different person. Then this sameness will continue and then go down again.
Fall.
So this is a pattern, and this is, you know, even the heartbeat go like this, up and down. Our life goes like that as well. But the good thing is to become aware that where it is taking me. Normally, I teach them in my training, there are 7 levels, or even now it's 9, 10 levels about the human consciousness.
Okay.
So when a baby is starting, there is just like on a caveman level. You know, they don't know anything. They are just relying on other things. Then they reach to a tribal level. Tribal level means everything for the baby is parents. Whatever the parent says, like, then they go through again down, and then they become a teenager. Now everything changed because it's me. I have to take my own decision. I have to make things better for me. And it's all about me. And then in teenage life, they continue, and then they go again down. And now there is another life, which is my family. They get married, and, you know, they have this life starting. Now it's not about me, it's about my family.
It's about the family.
Right? And then the family start, and then you go down. You are going for the workplace, and then you know what, I have to do something of my own, my business, or something you start. And then you go up again. So even in that sense, in our life, we process with some stages. And the same way, everything inside of, as I told you, outside of us, there are signs.
Nice.
You decode the sign, and you know it is making you grow only. And these are there to make you grow. But it's our job to decode. And when we rightly decode it, then we become wise. And in the process of decoding, when you reach to a level where you start seeing outside just the divine signs, that's a spirituality level.
That's the spirituality level. Like when you become
so
wise
that's why,
enough.
Because you know yourself. Here you decode yourself so much that you know yourself. And now you start knowing the divine. Because you decoded everything about you. Now you don't see in the reality, oh, this person, this situation, my money, my boss, my office, my this. These all things doesn't matter anymore. Only what matter, divine. What Lord says. Oh, this is the sign. And this needs to happen when you know yourself. And that's why I say, you know yourself, you know your Lord.
Right.
And knowing yourself is the process of really decoding it. So in front, nothing you can see except divine signs.
So sometimes when you say, like, I'm overdoing something for, like, you know, family, friends, or anyone, am I really enough? What is enough?
There are 2 things. You are overdoing for someone.
And not for ourselves.
Okay.
You know?
Okay, I believe one thing, that as a human being, we don't do anything for anyone else.
Okay.
Okay, everything that we do is for ourselves.
So are we self-satisfying?
It's for, I'll give you example. Let's say some loved one passed away.
Okay.
Okay. And we cry for our loved one.
Right.
Are we crying for them, or we are crying for ourselves?
I think because there is a pain inside, we are losing someone.
If you notice, if we all say, okay, how can I survive without you? Who can do this with me? I mean, it's all about ourselves. It's not about others. Even the mothers, you know, like mothers are the best example that they sacrifice for their kids. But actually, you know, these are our values. What are values? Values are the one that let you do stuff for others.
Okay.
So there are two types of values. One is really for egoistic values, which is completely for me. I have to do things for myself only.
Right.
These are also your value, because remember I told you that you have to go up and down. Like teenager values consider. So teenager values are only for myself. I have to get this. I want it. I get it. It's my order. It's my thing. What I want, it has to be this way. So that's a value. Value system means what is important for us. Okay. So it keeps changing as we grow in life.
Okay.
Okay. So even though when we are saying, okay, I'm doing something for others, actually these are my own values that again I'm doing it for myself.
Okay.
So, but because of the idea that you are sacrificing and all those things, we think that we are doing it for others. Even the people who are doing this charity work and it satisfies them.
Okay.
Because when they do goods for somebody else, they feel good inside.
They feel good inside.
And so it's all about ourselves, and that's why that's a sign outside of you, because it's all inside. So according to me, that's like when we say enough is enough, enough can never be enough. You cannot be enough as long as you're alive, because human mind as subconscious mind is designed for more. It's
more and more. Like,
we कहते हैं
what
दिल मांगे
next?
more.
Yes. What next? What next?
So our subconscious mind is designed for more. So you cannot be enough. Even if you reach to one level that I think I am in my perfect level, you cannot be at a perfect level, because there is more to it. There is more to it. So nothing can reach to the perfection level until you are alive. So you always look for more.
Wow. You always look for more. And then in NLP...
But it depends what are you looking. So even if you are in not so good situations in your life, in stress, depression, you lok for more stress. You look for more depression.
So you attract, you mean to say that you attract stress and you attract... Okay.
So your subconscious mind does not know what is right and what is wrong. Okay. So whatever is stored in subconscious mind, it looks more. Pain, okay, I want more pain.
Mine is only the biggest.
I want more pain, happiness, satisfaction, more satisfaction. So for more satisfaction, you need to do more.
Right.
You need to do more, and then again, it will never end. So it's never be enough, actually. Even people say enough is enough. I am enough. You are not enough. You change.
Not enough.
Like, let's say somebody is sacrificing, right, in their life, and they are doing things for others,
right, for
and
others.
Then they reach to a point. It's enough.
Right.
Now,
I've done a lot.
I am done. I cannot do it anymore. You know what they are doing? Let's say they are done and they stop doing things for what they were doing.
Right.
Their values change. Now from the others, they get satisfaction from themselves. So before they were getting satisfying by doing others for others. Now the whole value system changed, and now it's about me. I will put my boundaries. It's about me.
I will take care of
first. I will put myself first. I'll take care of my health. So now actually what is happening in the mind, your values are changing. And what are values? Values are things that are important for you.
Yes, I think people forget what is important for yourself, your own self, and give importance to others.
No, actually, if they are giving importance to others, this is important for them, to give importance to others.
Okay. All right.
It's important for me to give importance for others. And this is still my value. It's not other are important. It's important for me to make others important.
Okay.
And that's why I'm saying it's like everything we are doing, it's for ourselves.
It's within.
Yeah. Even for your kids, if you are doing things for your kids and kids are growing up and you have idea what we have done for you.
What we have done for you and all.
I mean, I wish my daughter will not listen to this. She will say, you know what, you have done this for yourself because it was satisfying you being a mother.
Okay.
It's your motherhood. It's
yes,
inside.
It's your motherhood.
It's your satisfaction you are getting. That's why you are doing it. So everything we do for others. Yeah, when the things shift, when we say enough is enough because we feel pain, and because of that pain of getting it, now we change the values.
Yes. The part
I told you, see, like we call it in the like you go down, and now you are there and still trying to satisfying yourself.
Yes.
Then you come to another level, which is different than the previous level. Now instead of satisfying others, you are your your moral or your compass is directed towards you.
Okay.
So it's still for you.
Wow. I mean, interesting. I have already forgotten all my questions. Your talk is so interesting, Kanwal. Tell me more about NLP. Does it also relate to hypnotism?
Okay. So, no, first of all, hypnotism, if I will say it's related, then it will be in the same way. So we have to understand what is hypnosis.
Okay.
Hypnosis is actually not what people are seeing on the on the TV shows or
Like a pendulum.
yeah, it's not
Okay.
that. Hypnosis simply means now there are two things. One is hypnosis, one is hypnotherapy.
Okay.
Okay, it's same thing, but hypnosis is a ritual to do a therapy to take a person into a mindset, into a state of mind where remember I told you about subconscious mind. Everything, all our 95% of programming or the
Is
life is operating at the
subconscious.
subconscious level.
Yes.
But think about it in a way. Let's say you are entering into a bank, okay, and there is a gatekeeper, okay, or a security guard. He will not let everybody enter, right? So let's say he need to check some stuff. Are you okay? Your ID card or something? Yeah, you are fine. You can go inside. Okay, and inside you have to do the main work.
Right.
So consider in the same way, your conscious mind is security guard, okay, and the subconscious mind is the bank, where everything need to be, you have to do the work basically. So if you are trying to enter to the, I know you have some trauma, for example, and I want to work in that trauma at a subconscious level.
Okay.
Okay, but security guard is not allowing me to go.
Yeah.
Somehow security, no, you are not matching with whatever the rules and regulation in the bank. You cannot go
You
inside.
cannot enter.
So what I will do with the security guard? Either I will bring the right documents, okay, the ID cards and everything. Yeah, okay, you qualify, you can go. Or I will keep going every day. Please let me go in. Please let me go in. Right? That is also
or
possible.
Bribe. Yeah.
You bribe it. You just make friends with them.
Yes.
Keep going every day. Repeat until okay, fine, I know, but just I'll be
Once,
keeping an eye on you.
Right.
That you don't do anything else. So you let them
You let
go.
them go.
Another method. You went with so many people. They distract the conscious mind. Security guard, and you just sneak in.
And you just sneak.
Okay,
Yes.
that's so there are different methods. All these methods where you actually sneak into the subconscious, these are hypnotic method. Okay, there is repetition that you keep repeating. Have you ever been in a class where it's so boring that you go, oh my god, and just you let go. It's your security guard trying to get understanding, and they cannot get it. Then security guard give up, and at that moment, even the worst teachers in our life, the best learning that we get is from our worst teachers.
Worst teachers.
Because we don't need to think. It just open the subconscious mind and the learning
And then
enter
learning
inside.
enters.
So that's actually hypnosis, and we are saying is just bypassing that conscious mind, the security guard. Okay, and there are different processes of doing that. Some people just give a shock. Let's say shock the security. They will shock and you just.
As in.
So that's like if you see in the movies or in the videos, they go sleep and they go suddenly.
Okay.
So they were not expecting something, and you did something. So the conscious mind go, okay, what happened? And then you go inside. So all these are methods. Some people use repetition. Some people make you so much tired. Have you ever done any meditation or this type of thing?
Yes.
And it's so long that people sleep in between. So there are different methods of getting into subconscious mind, and that's what hypnosis. It's not something woo-woo. Even even the security guard is kind of bypassing, but it's never sleeping. Because if he figure, okay, if I hypnotize you and I tell you now go and rob the bank,
right,
and it's against your values, your conscious mind or your security guard will not let you do it. It will immediately come up. What are you telling? This is not possible.
I will not do that.
Okay, so hypnosis is something that how to bypass the conscious mind. There are different methods: shocking method, repetitions method. Saying that just relax, trust me, relax, creating trust.
Right.
So there are different methods. This is hypnosis.
Okay.
And once you bypass that security guard, then the problems, the disease conditions, any situations that you want to heal yourself, trauma, then we actually talk directly to the subconscious mind, to the bankers. Okay, this is the problem, please solve the problem. But only if security guard let me in.
Let you in.
So the hypnosis is a method of bypassing the security guard.
So it takes time. It's a procedure of a longer period, like
No.
to give you that entrance,
So again, it depends which way you choose to enter. It can take 4 seconds to enter.
4 seconds to
It
enter.
can take 15 minutes to enter. So there are different methods of entering. But only unless the person does not want it to happen, it will not happen.
Okay. So again, it's had to come from that person if he or she is willing to give you that.
But actually, there is nothing woo-woo in that. Nobody, if I'm a hypnotist and I'm telling you, I hypnotize you, I tell you to do something, and you don't want to do it, you will not do it. So this is complete. That's what we do with our training, that we demystify all the myths about hypnosis.
Yeah.
What you see, Have you ever seen the WWE where this
Yes.
fighting things?
Huh.
And it's like it shows that it's for entertainment purpose
Entertainment
only. It's not
purpose.
happening in the reality. So whatever you see in the
Movies or
hypnotic
anything.
sessions or movies, or it's just people know what they are doing. Even stage shows, they already know they can come up anytime. It's not that hypnotist is controlling them.
Oh,
It's
okay.
they want to be they want to follow the instructions only.
Right.
So that's actually what. But I'm talking about now hypnotherapy. So what we do, we have to bypass this thing to do the therapy with the people, because the problem is in the subconscious level. And if I cannot bypass the conscious mind,
Right.
it's like analytical mind. If I are security guard, then I cannot work on the
On that
subconscious mind.
subconscious mind.
And in NLP also, but NLP we don't use those way of
Ways,
bypassing. We call NLP is a waking hypnosis.
Okay.
And hypnosis, this one is, it's not even sleeping, it's a relaxing hypnosis. So when you make people just relax, you take security guard in a relaxation mode and you take them. But NLP is you be friend with the security guard. So security guard is still active. It's coming with you. It's taking you. Okay, come, sir. You have some credits, and
Yes.
you can enter into the bank.
Like
so that's what NLP works.
does.
But both of us, we work into the programming and conditioning and all.
Of subconscious
Yeah.
mind.
So it's a tool also. It's actually complementing each other.
So when you do this therapy, what happened to that person? Are they like totally drained out, or they trigger, or how do they talk to you when this therapy is going on?
So basically, I would say it's more than the therapy. It's like coaching. Coaching in a way to develop people, personal development. Let's say if you are going to a golf coach or a cricket coach, so you will not say I'm going to a therapy. What you will say, I'm going to a coaching where I want to develop my future.
Yes.
I want to,
skills.
I want to develop my skills. So NLP is more than the therapy. It's developing skills to make your future better.
Okay.
To learn how things work inside. What are the things that I'm talking about trauma. Yes, because a lot of things in the future are stopped by the things that is inside already. I cannot earn enough money because I have a belief that money does not grow on trees. Okay, I have to do hard work to earn money.
Right.
Or money is an evil thing.
So you have to break that old pattern.
Yeah. So I remember a few years back, my mom was here with me, and she was watching a Pakistani drama. And like something was happening, and she said in Urdu, "Paisa badi buri cheez hai." And I said, okay, now I know from where this belief is coming
from.
Yes. So just unconsciously she used, "Badi kharab cheez hai paisa."
Right.
So like although we just say it, but it was something we heard at the childhood.
Correct.
It is part of our programming. So think about it. Your subconscious mind wants to give you what you want. But if you have something it's evil,
right,
and deep inside you have another belief that you want to be a good person, you have morals. So evil and morals cannot be at the same time together. So if you want to live a good life, a moral life, or an honest life, and you have a belief that money is evil, then it will not let money come, because then your morality will be
so
questioned.
you have to love money for that.
So yes, that's what exploration, that from where it is coming, what are the beliefs that we are holding that is stopping us in moving ahead in our life, whatever we want to achieve. So we actually, again, it's decoding our belief system, our values, and actually align them to what we want.
Right.
So that's what alignment happen, and then you get to know yourself in this way.
Nice. So like breaking the old patterns, old myth.
Yes. So basically it's coaching where you actually looking forward what you want to achieve in your life, but what is stopping you? People say, yeah, it's my company, they are just paying me this much. I have done so much, but it's my manager not letting me promote. It's not them, it's not your company,
It's
so
you.
I have been trained by Bob Proctor, and I was very lucky that in his lifetime I took trainings from him.
Wow.
And he used to say one thing. He said that economy doesn't control you. You are the one who control your economy.
If I'm not mistaken, he is from that secret
Yes,
book?
the secret one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I am lucky enough that I got trainings from him. I'm working as a consultant of his Proctor Gallagher Institute as well.
Nice.
So he used to say this word, like abundance is already inside. You cannot take any abundance, even market, or no matter whatever market situation is, you only get what you are capable of as per your programming. Okay. So normally we say, from abundance, we take abundance, and abundance remains. And we used to do an exercise, like, we say, okay, now take a deep breath in. Can you do that? And hold your breath. Okay. Just hold for a few seconds and release. Okay. So what did you do? You took air inside, right?
Right.
but there is any lack in the air on the environment?
No.
But from abundance, you took abundance based on your capability, and you
Right.
hold it based on your. But abundance remains. So in the same about money, same about success, everything is already there. You take it based on your own programming,
Right.
but it will not impact the environment. So even in your company, if you're working in a company, or if you're whatever you are getting, it's actually coming based on your own programming. So no manager or no company is actually paying you. You are paying yourself based on how much you are programmed
Okay.
to be paid.
So we all need to change our programming.
And of course, it sounds like there are market situations where the market is booming, and in the booming market there are people who are broke. Right? Even in especially COVID time, you see
Right.
the market was crashing, but there are people
who just rose
Yeah,
up, like
exactly. So it's not about market situation.
Yes.
It's not even about economy. It's about our own programming, and that's what really knowing. When I say knowing yourself, this is what knowing yourself means. It's not, oh, I know myself. I know this is who I am. I have to place the boundaries. This is me. This is my thinking, and it's not your thinking. It's not. It's knowing yourself really means about this abundant. Everything is already there.
already there. Yes.
And
you
even
just have to
talking
hit the
about
right
thoughts,
point.
if you want, I will just put the thought, because this is also we decode the thoughts as well.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So if somebody's saying that, oh, it's my thoughts, it's my thinking.
I mean, it's my thinking.
Yeah.
The way I
want to
think.
it's the way I think. It's my thought. Even it's my idea.
Huh.
Have you ever had of course you must have a creative idea, or you thought something to
Yes.
create something new?
Yeah. I mean, like Raw and Real is my idea.
Great.
Creating this podcast.
Great. And people who have developed like aeroplane and internet and mobile, they have this creative idea.
Yes.
So actually they are the founder, and they are the owner, and they are the creator of those things. But the funny part is that we don't have any other thoughts. What happened? The thoughts is actually a frequencies. It's a most potent frequency known. So as a human being, we don't have our own thoughts.
Right.
The thoughts are in the air. As a frequency, you catch thought. Like you are tuning the radio station. It's not like we cannot see, but as soon as you tune in,
Yes.
it just 101 or 102 or 103 or 104. You just tune in, and then you catch those frequencies.
Right.
So in the same way, whenever we get an idea, it's not our own idea. We get an idea. It's already in the air in terms of frequency. So we get into we
So
vibrate
get an
into a
idea,
frequency.
Sarji.
Yeah, we vibrate into frequency, and
Right.
like you are tuning into that frequency, and that match, and that it comes to your brain. So
Okay.
think about it. Like, let's say you have an idea and you are still thinking about it. Oh, it's my idea. It's my creative idea. And you didn't do anything about it, and somebody else did it.
Yes. This has happened to me
So
a
if
lot of
somebody
times.
else did it,
Yes.
how it is your idea?
Yes.
How can that
Correct.
person get your creative
Correct.
idea?
This has happened to me a lot of time, where I have thought that I want to do this, but day after tomorrow, I will see that somebody else has already done this.
Yes.
And I'll be like, why? This idea came to me first.
Exactly.
Yes.
This is actually what divine nature is. That nothing, everything is existing here.
Huh.
And you keep decoding it in your mind as per your vibration, as per your knowing inner self. And you get those ideas the way you are capable of. Which means the more you know yourself, the more ideas, the more thoughts you will be entertaining. If you're entertaining kind of a thoughts which are not so good thoughts, it's also you catch those thoughts. It was
Okay.
there already.
It was there.
Okay, so
already.
because you have some programming going on, a belief system going on, that you are vibrating in that frequency, that catch those thoughts. So let's say you are in the beach,
Okay.
and you have some tools, spade, bucket. What you will do with that tools?
Maybe a sand castle.
You will make a sandcastle,
Yes.
right? But if you, let's say, you have the tools, and you know the physical and chemical properties of sand. Can you make something better than sandcastle?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
But you don't make sands. You don't make sand, right?
No.
Sand is already there.
Already
So
there.
in the same way, thoughts applied. If you know the physical and chemical properties, how thoughts function, how
Yes.
thoughts work, you can create better thoughts.
So you're trying to say that I will understand when is the right frequency, like, of that particular thought which is coming, because at times, like, काश मैं पैसे मांग लेती, मुझे मिल जाता, right? Like that. And that particular thing, maybe it's a small thing. I just get it at the same time. When I'm just thinking about that
Yeah.
small thing, I just get it maybe same time or the next day. And then I was like, यार ऐसे क्यों, काश मैं पैसे मांग
हाँ,
लेती,
कुछ और ही मांग लेती,
कुछ और मांग
ही
लेती,
अच्छा
कुछ इससे बड़ा मांग लेती.
इवन अगर आप कुछ और बड़ा मांगती तो you will not get it because
Right.
that time you were vibrating in the same frequency of that thing
Yes.
that you got it. Okay, so it's like every thought have different frequency. So the frequency you are entertaining and it was matching with the thing.
Yes.
It just matched. And it's Einstein also said that you match the frequency of the thing you want to the frequency of your thoughts and you will get it.
You will get it. Yeah, most of the time you will get that
Yeah.
frequency. Like if you're matching with that frequency, you will get that thing.
Yeah.
But what is that right time of that frequency?
So there is no right time.
There's no right time.
There is right cleansing and right, vibration of yourself.
Vibration.
That's why I'm saying that when we are changing the programming, we are raising our vibration.
Wow.
And vibration, when frequency is coming from emotions. So if you have positive emotions, then you will raise your vibration.
Yes.
If there is not so positive emotions, like there are different frequencies of different emotions, then actually you will attract those type of thoughts. And those type of situations in your life also.
Great.
So in a nutshell, this is what we do because it's all part of subconscious mind, how we program, and that's what we do in NLP, in hypnotherapy. We have something called timeline therapy. We clear up, and that's actually throughout this process, people get wisdom, and now, as much as they become wise, they start seeing things differently. Their screen changes, and they get something new, and that keep changing. And it's an ongoing process. It's not.
So I think let me ask you, who all are these people who come to you? Can you please explain?
So basically, there are people who are looking for self-development. They want to achieve some goals in their life, and they don't know where they are blocked, and how can they get through it. It's like mainly self-growth and self-development. So these are the people coming to us for trainings and coaching as well. And there are people who want to become coach. So the fun part, they think, somehow I'm very good in advising people. And people tell me, you should be coach. Because you are so good in it.
You should be a personal...
You are a wise person.
Yes.
And then in my training, I'm here to get the certificate so that I can, apply the proper coaching. And that's what happened during the process of even it's a certification process. They tend to know themselves, the real knowing that I'm talking about. So it's like, again, start into another journey. And so the people who want to become the coach, first of all, they come
have
to
to
us.
go through the
they have to go through their own training. Even the same person, the person who want to become a coach and the person who want personal development, both came into the same training.
Okay.
And both achieve their own purposes.
Nice. Yeah. So both type of people, they come to you.
Most of the time, even the person who come for us for personal development, they end up becoming a coach because they become wise.
They become wise.
The process.
So then they do this coaching. Nice. And the institute is Mind Village Institute,
Mind Village
right?
Institute, yes.
Where is your institute?
It's on Sheikh Zayed Road, near Trade Center, on Aspen Commercial Tower.
Nice. It was lovely talking to you, Kanwal. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Lovely.
Thank you. Great conversation, great insights. Until next, stay strong, stay raw, stay real, and keep growing. Thank you.